keeps us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Trudging Tuesdays. We're still trudging. Yep. You know what trudging means? Let's go see what it means. Definition of trudge. A long, narrow ditch. It's a definition of trench. I didn't say trench. I said trudge. I said trudge. I did. Got some people here. Howdy. Howdy, partner. Walk slowly with heavy steps, typically because of exhaustion or harsh conditions. Welcome to the program. A difficult or a laborious walk. Gosh, that walk was laborious. Oh, therapy went well. I'm in a much better mood today. Thank you for all of you that stuck with me through the weekend. I wish I could be Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky all the time, but life isn't like that. And I'm not going to come on here and be something I'm not. So looks like we're going to have more than a few people tomorrow for Jeff Allen. Did you know he was going to be on the show? Did you know? Huh? Are we there yet? Kind of what it's like. Are we there yet? By this time tomorrow, it will be over and done with, and I'll be posting it on Podbean because we'll be done. But so far, aside from the people that usually come 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 5 people that want me to send them the link when we go live. So cool stuff, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really nervous. I usually get kind of nervous anyway, but I am really, really nervous about this. Good news is this. The more nervous I get, the funnier I get. So, right. Like when, I'll give you an example. If I go see the doctor or anything, I am cracking jokes the whole time. My best one lately was I had to get a part of my toenail removed. And they were taking pictures and stuff of it. And I said, can you send those pictures over to me? Can you forward those pictures to me for my OnlyFans page? Oh, I'm a dork. Did you know you could share the flyer? Yes, you can. You can share it. And you did. Thank you, Amber. I noticed that. Yes. See, I forget to ask stuff like that. I need to remember to do that to remind people, you can subscribe. If you like what I do, share it. I don't bring it up a lot. I'm a very natural kind of a guy, Man, a lot of my things are getting over 200, man. Nice. Good stuff. All right. And yes, if you see the flyer on Facebook or whatever, please share it, man. It's as close to promoting as I can get. But I'm an attraction, not promotion kind of a guy. So, but I do appreciate everybody and I asked him to go live because I wanted you to enjoy it too. I like sharing what I receive, and God gave that to me. It was a gift from God. I guarantee it. Nobody's charging me, so I see no reason to be selfish. No, right? Don't want to be shellfish. Yeah. You probably offended the nurse. She got an OF to pay her student loans. She got her OnlyFans. No, they laughed. They thought it was hilarious. I came back for my follow up and they even brought it up. So she didn't get too offended, but that's a good joke, Amber. She got offended. She got offended because my OnlyFans page was doing better than hers. Actually, that's not a bad way for me to. Maybe I could crowdfund through OnlyFans for helping people out. Welcome to my OnlyFans page where we help out the homeless. You can subscribe today. Oh, the funny things that can be said. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. Today we're going to talk about feeling like we're going to talk about imposter syndrome in recovery. All right. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. It was in here. All right. Was that what is imposter syndrome? I will turn it down because she's going to try and explain it to us. All right. So what I want to do is kind of give an overview of what imposter syndrome is and how it applies to recovery. Let's do that. Let's do it. There's a live action God of War coming out. I'm really excited about that. Kratos, Naminos, Fitos. I'm a big God of War fan. If you watched Breaking Bad, the guy that was best friends with the main character is going to be playing Kratos. He did the voice of Thor in the video game, but I like this guy. I think it's Ryan Hurst is his name. All right. Anyway, imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern where people doubt their skills, talents, or accomplishments, feeling like frauds despite evidence of success, and living in constant fear of being exposed as a phony. Those experiencing it often attribute their success to luck, timing, or deceiving others rather than their own competence. And it affects many high achievers across various fields, not just women as essentially thought. So I guess when imposter syndrome came out, they thought it was only women. Right. But no, it's more than that. Excuse me. Which means this probably came out in like the 70s when women really started coming into the workplace and stuff. But anyway, while not a mental disorder, it can lead to significant anxiety, burnout, and underachievement. Now, it is not a mental disorder, but it is a bad habit. Okay. And this very much aligns with alcoholism. There are the characteristics: self-doubt, fear of exposure, attributing success externally, downplaying achievements, over preparation or procrastination. All right. So that's what we're talking about here. Now, in the beginning of your sobriety, you may feel like an imposter. Might. Yeah. Now, what are we alcoholics what are we well known for? We are known for building up a bright future for ourselves and the family and the people around us, and then we pull down that structure on our heads. We do it often, right? Maybe, it describes in the doctor's opinion where Dr. Silkworth talks about how somebody who has worked hard at something that was favorable to them, a meeting or something that was favorable to them. And then they drank a few days before that, and the drinking became paramount. See, this is a setup, and we do ourselves to it. We set ourselves up to fail all the time. So when we get into the program and we start succeeding, we don't feel like it's real. We will doubt it. If you've listened to me for any time, even these last few years, I've been working through being a leader and understanding that I am a leader and what a leader is. And for a while, I felt like an imposter. Yeah, I did. I'm like, is this really mine? How many times do I sit here and doubt how many people are listening to me? How many times do I sit here and doubt how many people I'm helping? I do it all the time. This stuff creeps in. Okay. So we talk about these things so that you don't feel like you're alone, right? I talk about the topics here that we don't usually talk about in meetings because people they don't want it. We don't want to admit it. It can be kind of embarrassing. Okay. And when we admit it, it can make you feel vulnerable. Right. I was just talking to somebody about that earlier. And yes, I do feel vulnerable here, but there's nothing wrong with that. I also have healthy boundaries. Yeah. All right. So, imposter syndrome. So, I want to talk about something a lot of people feel but rarely say out loud. Feeling fake, waiting to be exposed, feeling undeserving of sobriety. That voice says you don't belong is louder when things are actually going well. It is when things are going well that the doubt creeps in. Right? Like I have something big going on tomorrow. What happened to me? You see, what has Dion been the last few days? Depressed, and it was a lot of self doubt. I was beating up on myself, and I feel like I was being a good husband. I felt like I was failing. I felt like I was failing my wife, that I was failing my kids, that I was doing that, and none of it is true. That's that self doubt that I tell myself because my brain doesn't seem to think that it's okay to have good things in this life. So, there are a few areas where, might be that some people tell me, well, the devil's kind of coming after you. And some people, well, it's a bad habit. It's kind of this. And in this case, I think it was me. I think it was me just talking down to myself. And I didn't stay in it. It didn't happen the whole time. It happened mostly at church on Sunday. When it happened, I just felt, yeah, then that regret seems just, and it snowballs, right? Now, doesn't mean that there aren't people out there, that utilize imposter syndrome in order to do what they need to do. But you'll notice it. Main thing is for you, okay? Because in the beginning, it is not going to feel like you're making any progress at all, or you'll make progress. Somebody will give you a compliment and you'll dismiss it. Oh, that's not true. That was a big one for me too. I get a lot of compliments. You know what I say? Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. I used to be like, well, glory goes to God. Come on, Dion. Come on. I'm giving you the compliment. I'll give God the compliment. Don't worry about that. Come on. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with receiving compliments when it's due, right? But I don't go seeking that either. Okay. And that's the difference. When I seek validation from other people, okay, my imposter syndrome, okay, what's the main thing that I need to utilize in imposter syndrome? Humility. Is this really happening? Is it really true? If you don't believe it's true, ask God to give you some proof. He will. It might take a little while. You're going to have to be open-minded, but he's going to let you know because you asked. That's the way it works for me. All right. But I have to put action to it. I have to ask, hey, da 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 da. All right. I asked 20 people today if they could do something for me. Yeah. I'm like, do you want the link to the show tomorrow? Several people were like, yeah, right on. Yes. All right. All right. So let's put this into like plain terms though, into layman's terms, right? You're gonna feel fake, right? You're gonna feel undeserving of sobriety. Well, I haven't even earned this. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Okay. That part is kind of true. Did you earn your sobriety? Did you? I'm gonna say yes. Look at all the stuff you had to go through in order to get there. But really, then what happened? Well, God took away that obsession, right? What did you do that? Did you do anything? See, my obsession left by the 4-step. So I hadn't really put any action into it. Maybe actually going to meetings, things like that. So I think I'm in an area that I may not understand enough to speak on. Right. Right. So how does it show up in recovery? I'm sober, but I only have 12 days. Right. I only have a week. It's not like I have 9 years or something, and we will downplay it when 12 days, when 30 days is actually longer than 9 years in our book. If you're an alcoholic, you understand what I'm saying. 30 days, 1,000 nights. Yeah. Right. It's tough. Now I'm going to tell you something. You deserve all of it. You do. You deserve every fucking promise in that big book. You do. It may not look like it. It may not feel like it. Then go make it that way. When I work with when I'm working with a male, right? I'm working with a young man and he's single and then he meets a girl. Right? I'm like, well, what are we gonna do here? Because I'm not gonna sit there and say, you're not allowed to date, you're not allowed to. Okay. But if you're still sick, then what are you attracting? The point is to become the person that is worth having. Become the person that you want to be. Then you will attract the right person. Because a lot of what we do is attraction. Absolutely it is. Right? You probably listen to some people, even me, because you're attracted to what I say. Doesn't have anything to do with looks, even though I'm having a great hair day. Yeah. I'm not bad looking for 55. Yeah. But none of that comes into play anyway. I'm married, man. Very married. And people are very respectful of that. Something that I appreciate. All right. Other people are doing it better. Comparisons. Okay, the only comparison you should ever make is you to you. You from a previous time to now. It's the only comparison. It's the only true comparison. Because you're not that person. So you have different qualities. You have different things. That's why it takes a group because I don't come up with all the best ideas. No, I don't. I may say something that might help you come to that idea, or maybe you say something that helps me lead to another idea. See, it takes a group of people in order to get things done, especially in recovery. Okay. So do not compare yourself to other people because I'm gonna give you a secret. We're not all sick on the same day. Time does not remove staying in recovery for 20 years does not deem that life doesn't treat you unfairly anymore. That's not how it works. Shit's still going to happen. Your washer's going to break down. Then the car will break down. They come in threes, right? Stuff happens. Now, the change here was your attitude on how you handled the problem. That's the main point. These things are still going to happen, but what are you doing to work towards that solution? What's the action? All right. Now, the voice that says you don't belong here is louder when things are actually going well. Yep. Look what just happened to me. All right. Now, how am I going to have to take this? How am I going to have to look at this? Right. Well, number one, I don't know any amends. I went through 3 days because a lot of times my depression turns into anger. It's part of the process. Okay. I don't know anybody in amends. That's progress. I wasn't depressed for as long. There's progress. I wasn't as depressed as I usually get. There's progress. I was still able to get out of self, even though I was going through something kind of tough. Progress. I have to look at these things, okay? And I have to be truthful. Rigorous honesty. Rigorous honesty doesn't apply to just bad things, it means the good things too. And you're going to need to be rigorously honest. Yes, I did say that. And yes, it did help somebody out. You can take credit for that, but glory goes to your higher power. That's all right. But I don't need to go online and take credit for it. I may tell one of my friends, or I may tell my wife, or maybe it's just between me and God. Maybe I did something, because it's often that I do things for other people and they don't know it. I don't bring it up here, or it blows all the humility. It'll blow the gift that I'm going to receive from God. And I'd much rather have that gift than the one I'm going to make up for myself. Absolutely, I would. All right. So the better it gets, the more that might show up, right? Okay. So when does this stuff happen? First of all, it happens in early recovery, your first 30, 60, 90 days. Then the next time it's going to happen is right before your 1 year. About a week, 2 weeks before your 1 year is when it's going to happen. And I'll tell you why, because you're thinking of what happened over the last year. You're in the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You're living in yesterday because you're reflecting on what's happened during it. You can't help it. And why are you doing that? Because you know that you have to go tell your story. So you're doing a little bit of reflection, and you feel like an imposter when you get up there. But by the time you're done telling your story, you don't feel that way anymore. You now feel like you belong. Okay. What are two great steps that will help us get out of imposter syndrome? 4 and 5. 4 and 5. Okay. You're not a horrible person. You're not. All right. I'm not a horrible person. I may have done some horrible things in my life. Okay. But I'm not going to repeat those anymore. Right. So what else, what else is gonna happen? It might happen. Well, it might happen. It listed another one after service or leadership, but nah, that's not been my experience. Right. Just like yesterday, we had a person that hadn't chaired the meeting before, chaired the meeting, and you could see how elated they were afterwards. I love it. I don't get that high anymore when I chair meetings. It's something that I miss because I'm used to it. And now I'm used to chairing meetings. Like when I used to do the Daily Trudge, when I was done, I'd be like, whoo, man, I love it. Yeah, now I just go on with my day because I'm used to it. Right. But there is one type of service work where that never fades, helping somebody else reclaim their lives. That never diminishes. Mm-mm. Doing service work for other people and getting that and feeling gratitude for a job well done, that never diminishes on me. Right. So I also don't get as nervous when I go up and tell my story anymore. Um, but I wish I was a little bit more nervous because I actually do better speaking when I'm nervous. It's weird, but This is kind of who I am, right? So there might be stuff from the past. Maybe you still have residue for, maybe you still have what we call shame residue. And that can last for a while. There's something called post-acute withdrawal symptoms, and it's called pause, and this is part of it. Okay. And it isn't that you don't feel like you don't belong. It's that you feel like you're not the person that you're supposed to be. I'm going to tell you what happened. You played Mr. Hyde for so long that you thought that was your personality when you're Dr. Jekyll. You're not Mr. Hyde. You're that person when you drink. Now you can still see, before you couldn't be that person without the drink. Now you can do it without the drink. Right? So you've been an imposter your whole life. That wasn't the truth. So you're going to need to discover who you are. Who is Dion? What makes Dion tick? What are some great attributes about Dion? What are some what are some not necessarily bad attributes, but what am I not the best at? Okay. I understand my limitations. I know my limitations. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with limitations. You know what limitations do? You know what they do? They make me reach out to God's children and ask for help. Oh, so bad. God forbid you say something that makes my life better. Shame on you, right? Well, the first things you're going to have to learn how to do, because we're like, man, I wish I'd just be proud of me. I wish I'd. And then somebody gives you a compliment and you blow it off. You do that, they're going to stop giving you compliments. Well, every time I give them a compliment, they just say something bad about themselves. So I'm not going to do it anymore. That happened with me during Christmas. I told my stepdad, I said, I think you're one of the best things that ever happened to my mom. And I do truly believe that. I do. And you know what he said? Bullshit. I'm like, okay, whatever. I do still feel that way. Even though I'm not too happy with the guy right now, that's not the determination. My mom's happy. That's what I'm saying. I didn't say I thought that you were the best thing that happened in my life, because that would have been bullshit. But I do believe that. And I'm never going to say it to him again, because he told me I was a liar, which makes him right. Just saying. Okay. So you know what changes faster than my self-image? Life. Life happens so much quicker than my self-image. Okay. Now I say this a lot. I need to get my back scratcher real quick. Back scratcher. Back scratcher. Okay. Whoop, 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 whoop. All right. What was I talking about? I don't remember. It'll come back to me. What was I talking about? Change. Oh, that's what it was. When you live with yourself, you are the last person to see that change in you. Period. Right. Now you see my grandkids usually about once a month. Right. I get them 1 week in a month. I tend to see them a little bit more now. But in that month, if it's been a month, when they come back, they're taller. Well, if I said you're getting taller, they'll say, no, I'm not. They have no clue that they're getting bigger. Right. I also say this a lot. Encourage people. And quit saying this. I don't mean to crosstalk, but because you just said I'm intentionally so, and I love this. I don't mean to crosstalk, but that person was right. That's not crosstalk. That's encouragement. That's agreement. And that's not crosstalk. So why did you even say it? Why did you even say I don't mean to crosstalk? Because when you say I don't mean to crosstalk, you're meaning to crosstalk. That's like saying, I'm sorry that I'm about to punch you. All right. So encouragement. Give the newcomers encouragement. Okay. In the beginning, it's going to embarrass them. They might be, oh no, they're gonna pull out that imposter syndrome. But now, as you as a person that has listened to Dion talk about imposter syndrome, you can say something like, you really do deserve that compliment. It is true, even if you don't see it right now. But it is true. So the next time somebody gives you, and say this, the next time somebody gives you a compliment, you only have to say 2 words. Thank you. That's all you need to say. And then that's what they'll do. Then what will happen? Then they'll start seeing the truth that they have changed, that they have become better people. I go through it too. Sometimes I wonder, it's like, how did I get here? What happened? How did all this happen, man? You might still have identity lag, right? Comparing yourself insides to others outside, growing into your life that you never thought you'd have. I'm gonna rephrase that. Not just growing into a life you never thought you'd have, but growing into a life that you would have never dreamed. And we have pretty good imaginations. But there's no way I imagined my life being like this. No. And you can't describe it. There are no words. It is something that you need to experience. I need to get on a scale, because I think I've lost even more weight. Like that's almost all gone. Ooh, cool. I didn't mean to. My wife just changed my diet on me. The dangers of not talking about it. You've got to talk about it. I don't feel like I actually deserve all this, Mr. or Miss Sponsor. Talk about it. Take it to your therapist. Take it to a closed mouth friend. But until you take it to another alcoholic, you know what they're going to say? Me too. I still kind of go through that every now and again. But let's remember, all of our best thoughts got us here. So maybe we shouldn't listen to those thoughts. It's still hard for me to accept some of the things that I do. So what am I? Did you hear the word that needed to be used? Accepted. I had to accept that that's what God is saying. Right? Isn't it about faith? Right? So, isolation. Right? And here's part of the problem. Imposter syndrome doesn't usually make people leave loudly. Okay. What actually happens is they just fade away. Yeah. They don't say anything. They're not like, I'm out of here or whatever. No, because they're embarrassed and they just leave. That's why the encouragement is so important. That's why encouragement is very important. Or they will leave because they don't feel like they're getting anywhere. When somebody has 30 days, over celebrate, overdo it. I do. I'll be like, fuck yeah. Woo. Oh yeah. You did it. You did it. Want a chip? Did you get a chip? Did you get a chip? Let's get you a chip. See? Yeah. Oh, dude, and you got 30 days. I've seen you come so far in these last 60 days. You are not the person I met 60 days ago. These are all valid things to say. I'm over here. Somebody will show up. They'll be like, I had a really bad day, and it's just a bad day. But I was driving along. I decided, I'm gonna go to a meeting instead of the liquor store. Say something. That's progress. You should be proud of yourself. You went to a meeting instead of going to the liquor store. Do you know how big that is? Oh, yeah, I know how big that is. Oh, man, it's bigger than I. Wow. Okay. And then you know what they're going to want? More. They're going to want more of that. And then you know what that alcoholic will do? They'll go do the right thing. all because you decided to be encouraging. Right? Okay, you judgmental alcoholic. Not all judgment is bad. Okay, discernment is what you need. Let's look up the word discernment here real quick, and then we're gonna start to wrap this up. All right, man, I clearly had way too much open. Definition of discernment: the ability to judge well. Right? In Christian context, perception of absence of judgment with a view to obtaining spiritual guidance and understanding. Take what you need and leave the rest. Okay? But considering how quickly we can see the bad things in others, we can do the same thing with the good things. And you're really good at it. So just switch that from it being judgmental to encouragement. Just make that switch. All right. Okay. So what this is not a sign that you're doing it wrong. Okay. And there's no proof that you don't belong. Go show me the proof. Show me the receipts that you do not belong. Okay. Now, what is this going to do? Well, it's going to lead back to encouragement again. Okay. It's not lack of gratitude and it's not spiritual failure. Okay. That is not what it is. You are not failing. You're changing. Okay. You're going through things you don't know yet. And there can be a fear of the unknown. Right. So feeling like a fraud doesn't mean that you are one. In this case, feelings are not facts. Okay. In this case, what am I doing? I'm judging my own worth, which is no different than judging other people's worth, except I talk to myself a lot worse than I talk to other people. You do too. You know the saying, if other people talk to me the way that I talk to me, oh, we be in a fight. So you're not a fraud. It may feel that way, but it is going to change. Okay. So say it out loud to save people. Let others reflect reality back to you. Well, this is what's going on. Well, this is what I see. This is what I see happening. Because what they are saying is probably closer to the truth because they are not caught up in the feelings of what's going on. Right. And we don't rely on feelings. We rely on action. And your feelings are not the authority. Okay. Now, we tend to think that belonging is a feeling, but it's not. It is a practice. Practice belonging. Share in meetings. Volunteer to read. Volunteer to do the timer. Yes. Put yourself in there. There's plenty of service work even for people that are new in, right? So, is there a place where you still feel like you're an imposter? I kind of do. There's still some places that I feel that way. In my leadership, mostly. Am I really? Because I don't want leadership to be me above somebody. That's not what we're talking about. It means that I set a good example for the other people around me. That's really what leadership is. Leadership can only be done by example. I don't know of any other way. What leadership is not telling people what to do. That's not leadership. That's bossing people around. Hey, I'm doing this over here. You want to do it with me? That's leadership. Okay. Let's say somebody's digging a hole and maybe it's, a boss is like, you're doing that wrong. But a leader will grab a shovel and go over there and help them dig that hole. That's the difference. Leader's not above cleaning the toilets or anything else. You don't always need to be in the spotlight to be a good example. And a good example is a leader, right? Yeah. So I have to believe my friends when they tell me, Dion, you are helping a lot of people out. We see it out here. You can't see it. You're in your head. You can't see it. And since these people have not lied to me before, why would they be lying now? And me telling them that, I don't feel like I'm being lied to either. See? Check your intuition. Is this person you know if people are lying to you. Right? Now, don't give a fake compliment. If it's not true, then don't say it. Right? There's a there's always something good you can find in somebody else. Always. Right? So, all right. I don't want to feel legitimate. If I don't wait to feel legitimate. I just stay. Right? So, if you're sober, honest, and showing up, you belong, even if your head says otherwise. This is where I'll wrap. When I first came into the program, I did not love, like, or anything me. No, I wanted me dead. Right? But there were a few people in my life that were important to me that told me, you are actually a very good person, but you need to be off that alcohol. Right? And they were right. They were correct. And so I need to keep up that belief. Right? Yeah. So, and ask yourself, you can ask yourself if you want to, where does imposter syndrome show up for you? Right? And you don't need to say it out loud. You can say it to yourself, but admitting it and accepting it, man, you'll be halfway there. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. Stuff. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And remember,